Alright, so I got all of them done except the last one. And because I wanted to show you one or two more quick things actually even about that. And before I say anything else, I forgot to explicitly say this, but I highly recommend only taking one string off at a time and leaving all the other old ones on until they're all new. And that's because if you take them all off, especially if you don't block this off with like picks in the back or something, the bridge is going to be just cocked way off and it might even like come up the posts. It's just a much better move most of the time to leave them all on. I mean, it just keeps it tighter. It's, you know, every once in a while you can take them all off and clean up the fretboard or something like that, but it's typically best practice to leave them all on. It's just keeps everything from moving too much. But so this is my last string, the first string. Also, I mean, you probably figured out, but you know, up here you go the opposite way for each side. So basically, if I'm turning these forward, actually, these go this way, these go that way to tighten. You can't see my hands. These go this way, and you'll figure it out. But what you want is you want the string facing the inside. So if you can see, you want the string facing the inside of the guitar on each string. So on these, it'll be on the right, on the lower strings, and it'll be on the left, on the higher strings. And that's just so that it sits in your saddle better and it doesn't end up all cockeyed and shit. You can probably get away with not doing it that way, honestly, but I mean, you definitely want to do it that way. So, the very last string, home stretch. All right. Yeah, and just, you know, just recap. You don't want to undo this first. You want to loosen the string first. All right. So, that is done. Go ahead and loosen this up. And I think you'll probably find that the thinner strings, the unwound strings, are harder actually to do because they're harder to get a grip on. It's harder to get them to do what you want and to stay put in the saddle, to stay exactly in the middle. And it's, you know, you get a little bit of leeway. If it moves slightly to the side, it's no big deal. All right. Cool. All right, so thread it right in there in the middle. And you can see I'm watching it like a hawk. And yeah. There's a couple more things I'm about to show you too. It's not just last string. I want to show you how to stretch them as well. And should be good. See, with these I am making it pretty damn tight because it has to be with the thin strings. Oh, the last thing I forgot to tell you in the first video, I'm going to send you this one first. This string retainer, I believe it's on the Dean. You want all the strings to go under that. You know, you just don't want them going over. Some Floyds, you don't need a string retainer. Like if the headstock goes back far enough, like my V with the Floyd doesn't have one. This one you probably don't even need one because it goes back. It's not super mandatory, but most of them come with one. And again, I'm not someone who designed guitars. I don't really freaking understand all of this shit, but you know, all this crap. Yep, wind it up, up. And once it gets to a certain point, you can like cock it up, just kink the string up like that. And of course, you're going to want to clip them pretty close. Another thing I neglected to mention in the last video. Once you've got it wound, you want to clip off the excess. You don't want to do that until you've got it wound and you know it's staying. Just make sure nothing goes awry and the thing falls off. Also, when you're clipping the ends off of these things, be careful because it can go anywhere and it could hit you in the eye. You don't want that to happen. Be careful because it's just poke you. So yeah, just clip them off pretty close. You'll see, you know, Doesn't have to be really, really close. Just make sure it's already up to pitch before you do that. Just make sure nothing goes wrong on you. So, it's pretty close. All right, now if you've got something blocking it off, just dump the bar and pull it out. Like so. Ah! And if you lose a pick down in there, if you are using picks, you can just take it from the back and just shake it out. You know. Oh, still got the back cover on this. All right, there's nothing in there. Cool. All right. Get a pick, and then just check your tuning. Well, actually, before you do that, stretch them. So check this out. Okay. So yeah. Your wound strings are going to need more stretching. So what you want to do is just basically pull while holding down on the other one. And you're literally stretching them. You're trying to put tension on each part of it. Just move down them. And the reason why is because new strings, they need to be stretched because they're going to very quickly go out of tune. It's just what's going to happen. You know, they have to be, they've never been brought to pitch before. So you have to kind of break them in even before you begin to break them in. Because if you want it to stay in tune right off the bat, and especially on Floyd Rose, and you have to go up here to fix anything, you want them to stay in tune pretty well. So you want to get them stretched out. Now, of course, when you get to the thinner ones, you can't be as brutal with them because they'll break. So, you know, let's go for a minute. And bring it back up to pitch. I'm whole step down, so it's going to sound a little different. And so every time you stretch it and it goes flat, tune it back up again. And then basically keep doing this until it doesn't go flat anymore. Should be good now, or mostly. Just show you again. Usually the first thing I do is just pull it in the middle, and you can hear it just went down in pitch. If you did a bunch of crazy bar stuff, if I hadn't just stretched this, it would have been out of tune in a second. Even when you first put them on, they're going to go like that because they're not used to any tension. So, and now you do that. I'll just show you one more. I'm not going to show you the whole thing because see how it's still going flat? Okay. Yeah, you can go like up and down. That's what I usually do, and then also side to side. You see what I mean? You want to make sure they're stretched out pretty good. And again, with the wound strings, you can tug on them pretty hard. These ones you don't want to be, you know, because again they'll break. So I would say in the beginning, till you get a better feel for it. When you get to the unwound strings, the top three, be a little lighter with them, a little lighter than even you think you might need to be, because you probably don't want to just have to waste a string, especially if you don't have extras lying around. Or I did that before. I didn't have any extras and I was pissed because I couldn't play my guitar. All right, we're good. So before, I'm not gonna bore you with the rest of it, but then once you got them all stretched and all mostly in tune, like we're pretty freaking close, right? Get your tuner and make sure, and this is part of the reason why you block this off so that your bridge doesn't get all wonky. Same thing as before, make sure it's exactly parallel to the instrument. And if you're 95% in tune and this is parallel to the instrument, then get everything, once that's good and everything's stretched, once everything has been stretched and you know this position is good, then you, even before the fine tuners, you get everything in tune. And then you lock everything back down. So you just take your locking nut, put it back on, tighten it, pretty tight, but not ridiculously tight. Then you'll find, happens every time, it's still, even if you're perfectly in tune up here, once you lock it down, something's gonna be out of tune. And that's why you want these like in the middle where they have leeway to go up or down, because you're gonna need to do little adjustments. And then that should be all you need to know. Yeah, if they're stretched, you're locked back down and your bridge in the right spot. That's all you need to know. So, since I had to do the rest of it, I can't really show you that last part, which just I don't want to bore you with stretching them all out. But that's really all you need to know, and I guess just let me know if you have any questions.